Okay, everybody, welcome back to this After Hours Gaming League Sunday Showdown between National Instruments and Microsoft. We have a TVP in store for you that's actually going to blow your socks off.
Are we going to see the same thing on the final? Tempest contained?
Maybe. I'm hoping not. I would like something a little bit different, but, you know, it's a matter of taste in general. And just to give you a little background on this, in Microsoft National Instruments at the end of Season 4, the playoffs, Come On Man actually went against a Protoss player, and that Protoss player contained him with Proxy Tempest and also put a Nexus in his natural expansion in order to just subdue anything that he could try to do. And it was done really well. The Protoss player, whose name is Rathlaw, and as we see Come On Man talking about this Tempest contained, but he is definitely set for it.
It'd be really funny if 8-Bit did it again and see like he was actually ready for it. Nothing too uncommon. He's not going to go for one of those crazy proxy gateway openings that some Protosses like to do. Well, especially, I guess it wouldn't work on this map because you have to go scout.
And another thing that I need to put into another piece of information is 8-Bit. Microsoft did not put in their team roster on time, so he's not allowed to use High Templar. He's allowed to warp them in to turn into Archons, but nothing else.
Is that just for the last match, or is it for every match?
It's just for this match. I think it's just for one player. Like, I don't know
like
how that works. I have to read the manual again.
I feel like if it was every match, well, maybe that's why we didn't see DTs by what was his name? Something Blade, I think. Forgot his name. By the purple Microsoft Protoss, he didn't go DTs because he had that restriction. Not sure. I like that rule though.
So the Protoss player is going for a single gas, not going for the double gas. Going to stick with something that's going to look like a gateway expand build. We'll see the Cybercore go down in a few moments.
Meanwhile, we have Command Man going for the Marine, not opting for the Reaper, so he is going to get a couple Marines out, probably just to take out this probe, and then go for the reactor off of that.
He is banking up quite a bit of gas. What do you think he's going for in Immortal Kid?
Probably a factory. So it's reactor and then maybe factory, and then try to do some Woodamine drops. He only has one gas, so maybe until he kills the probe, then he'll get his second gas and try to go for a Banshee.
Whoa. It's very introspective. I'm so glad that you play Terran and Protoss both fluently. And you also speak Spanish, so that even helps out a lot more.
Yeah, it does. I can pronounce this map correctly.
How do you pronounce it?
Cartagena.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have that sound in English. Like, well, I guess in Jello, but like a mild in Jello, but not like yellow, the color. So mid-ground between Jello and yellow. How we say that L, which sounds really weird. So if you're hearing this and are trying to make that sound, don't worry, it's okay if you don't get it. And yeah, Come On Man is going to go for that factory right now. He does have his second gas coming down on the way. 8-Bit does his second gas as well.
And judging by the placement of this factory, we can know that it's not going to fly over and get onto the SAT-on being made by the barracks currently.
Yeah, definitely. That would take like too long to do this. Okay, so he's getting a tech lab on his factory. He has about 50 gas. So let's either wait to see if he throws down the armory and tries to go for a Thor drop, or he'll go for the Banshee. It all depends on what we see soon. Meanwhile, Robo facility going down by 8-Bit. He does have his mothership core out in the middle of his ramp, so he's going to know what's happening, and he's sending his stalker out, probably just to check if Command Man has that expansion.
And he won't be able to see that, but we are seeing that starport go right onto that tech lab, and will we see? Yes, Cloak and a Banshee coming on its way out.
It's going to be quite handy. There's only one stalker out, and if 8-Bit doesn't go for the observer first, or goes for the observer first but sends it all the way over at Command Man space, he's going to be in like a little bit of trouble with this Banshee.
We'll have to see where the rally point is. The rally point is
out into his ramp.
So that'll definitely be good. And 8-bit should be thinking, like, I'm not seeing a natural expansion, so I should definitely think there's something coming. It might be a Widowmine drop. It could be just about anything, because he has really no scouting information of the inside of the base.
Yeah, that probably could explain why he made the Observer, just because the Widowmine drops. All you have to do is kind of run away, maybe even send one probe to trigger it, and then you're like out of sight and out of danger. Oh, another Banshee being produced, so Command Man is going to dedicate himself to this. He does have a tank. I wonder if he's going to throw down an orbital command center yet or not. Or maybe he'll just go 1-1-1.
It's definitely look like he's gonna ramp himself up right now, with taking his well, not getting his natural expansion. Oh, but now
Comes the Banshee, and the cannon gets activated, and maybe he'll cloak. Yeah, he does cloak, and now he's going to be able to get a couple more probes. 2 so far. 3-man Banshees, 2-shot probes, and you guys thought Reapers were bad.
no, this is going to be definitely a great amount of harass. He doesn't. His observer is still coming back from the middle of the map, so this Banshee's going to be able to get some work done right now. I don't know why it's not working on it right now. I mean, definitely get in there.
Yep. 4, 5 kills so far, 6 kills so far, and also he's denying a bunch of mining time, and is forcing some probes over to the other Nexus. So all he has to do is pop out cloak on his other Banshee and keep harassing. Meanwhile, 8-bit does have a probe over here at the top of the map. Another pylon. Oh, probably to scout for the path of the Banshee so he can intercept them. Now the second Banshee triggers the second Nexus cannon. And meanwhile, the photon cannon does come out and the observer comes back home. So this Banshee not going to be able to do as much as he wanted to. The other one is still getting kills. 8 kills so far, man.
Oh, a Twilight Council was just put up into that top area where the pylon is, and the Banshee has found it, killed the probe, and got the cancel on the Twilight.
I wonder why he did that, because he already has a Twilight Council over at his base. Maybe he forgot and he was going to go for the DTs. Oh, yeah. DT Shrine. I guess if Command Man wants to go for the Cloak Unit Harass, I guess he can receive some Cloak Unit Harass as well. But Command Man already has a Raven, so these DTs are not going to do much.
But great Banshee play. How many kills on that?
I think it was
8 kills on one.
and 6 on the other.
Wow, definitely worth their weight.
So about a base worth of probes. Finally, Command Man putting down his command center. Oh, and he's bringing some boys. All the boys? No, just leaving some boys.
Oh, some boys.
Bringing a couple of boys. Just 8. Maybe to repair the Banshees. He does have 3 Banshees. So his tank marine push is going to be a bit effective. And 8-bit is going to see these Banshees, and this is when you start chrono boosting your stuff. How many units does he have? He has 1 sentry and 3 stalkers, 4 zealots, and the push is going to come strong, man.
Wow, 3 tanks, a bunch of marines, and 2 banshees that will soon be at full health. Where do those SCVs go? They're trailing behind. Well, we might see the... Well, I mean, I would like to see him repair them because they're going to be worth their weight, especially against stalkers.
Yeah, and there is a Raven out there, so even if he does try to come out with his Dark Templars to snipe the tanks, he's not going to be able to. 8-bit does make an Archon off of this, getting 2 more pylons. He does have enough to force the Nexus cannon and then just hope he doesn't die.
I mean, he really just has to hold right now as hard as he can, and here it comes. Banshees...
He's got to place the Nexus cannon. There we go. Oh, and point defense drone going down. And if he can kill this Raven, though, he would be in like a very good spot. He's got to target the Raven. Come on, target the Raven. That's all you need. I hope he realizes that's all he needs to do.
And almost getting the Nexus, but having to move back. Probes are being pulled. Zealots do have legs.
The Raven is repaired. Yeah, 1 tank goes down, but there's just enough stuff on the air yet, and the cannon hasn't died. The Raven does die, actually, so now he could warp in DTs, and he would be fine. Meanwhile, 8-bit's Nexus cannon just completely defending this. Do that? They last forever.
It does, and honestly,
wow.
like, the trade there was... I mean, let's check workers lost right now. I mean, just lost, and Protoss losing quite a few more than our Terran player. I'm actually surprised about that. Well, I mean, coming down with it, I mean, Marines don't cost gas, so I mean, the amount of resources was quite low. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Command Man maybe thought he could have killed him with that. I guess he could have pulled back a bit, just wait for the Nexus Cannon. It was a little bit tight though, because if he waits for the Nexus Cannon to deplete, then 8-Bit can get more stuff added to his thing, to his army.
And 8-Bit is moving out right now with not that much stuff, but Command Man's definitely ready for this counterattack. He has what? He'll have
He'll have 3 tanks.
three tanks. I mean, he will get I mean, 8-Bit will get a few warpins and most likely, but he's not going to be able to do too much because there isn't a third yet. Is there a third command center though? Where's that third command center? It's about time.
I don't think he's building it just yet. No, no third command center in sight. He's getting Marauders now. And he does have a turret, so even if you wanted to go with his TTs, 8-Bit's not going to be able to do that much. And a Raven is out again. So Command Man is going to be quite defended for this. Especially with this tank of the high ground. He's going to get a couple of volleys for free while these units move up the ramp.
And detection as well with the Raven as well as the missile turret. I don't really see this doing too much. I mean, if anything, it would just delay the third if in fact it was going there.
Yeah, I think maybe he'll just park outside. He's going to check for the third right now just to see if he has to go for this push or not. Meanwhile, 8-Bit Man is going to go take his third while he's doing this, quite smartly of him.
And what do you think of the production of Widow Mines right now?
Actually, so Widow Mines would kill, I think 2 Widow Mine hits kill the Zealots, plus if they clump up, they'll do a bunch of damage. So I would place a couple Widow Mines at the front of the ramp, just for those initial hits. Meanwhile, the Banshee's trying to snipe this pylon, and the Archon's not letting any of that happen. 8-Bit finally settled in, man. He has an Immortal on the way, and I think he actually can get through between the Twilight and the Gateway. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. Enough space. Nicely calculated by 8-Bit to let that Immortal out.
Wow. Yeah, I never even knew that. I thought that would be just be stuck in that general area where the DT shrine is.
Yeah, man. It's weird that sometimes they get stuck like between the pylon and the thing. And then you have to kill either your pylons or a tech structure. Or maybe even get a War Prism. See like how this probe is getting stuck in between here? So sometimes the rallying for Protoss, I think it's only for Protoss units. I don't think that's happened to me with Terran. Maybe because Marines just squeeze through anything.
And there's 3 probes just chilling out in the middle of this.
Where are they? Oh yeah, I see.
Or
yeah,
are they going to start
probes.
attacking? Are they going to start attacking that gateway to get
Gateway?
out?
Yep, 4 probes now. Be better if he just attacks with his Immortals. Meanwhile, the Banshee's trying to poke at these pylons, just trying to bait them in. And 8-Bit Man can just practically sit here all day and deny this third. He does have a Zealot just patrolling the area, so even if the orbital command were to come down and try to drop, he could just follow it with his Zealot. Meanwhile, a drop coming out by Command Man with 4 Marauders, but there are 2 cannons over here for 8-Bit, so he can also warp in Zealots. It's not going to do as much damage as he could take.
Whoa, why is he warping in? Sentry's right there.
I'm not sure. Maybe he wanted to push. And Command Man does go around and now going to drop on these units. There is a cannon, and these 2 Immortals are just going to try to devour these Marauders, forcing the medevac down. 8-Bit does leave a Zealot at his opponent's third, so even if the command center wants to go down, he's not going to be able to do that.
And bringing the whole army back to guard this third, maybe thought there was more of a drop coming, but definitely can move back and keep the contain. But there's 3 pylons basically in the middle of the map, so 8-Bit will know when and if our Terran player would like to leave, and his third is finally moving into the third position.
Yeah, he is maybe going to try to land near that Zealot. Maybe he'll land like off space from that Zealot so he can land and then move with his army. We'll see what he does. I would do that, just land it like a block away. Meanwhile, the Marauders camping over here by Command Man, they are going to get destroyed. Not that big of a deal though. Just 4 Marauders.
And in the meantime, a lot of medevacs are loaded up right now. I don't know exactly what Command Man's going to try to do. Is he going to try to Doom Drop, or is he going to just move with his army quicker in that sort of fashion? And there's nothing that's going to see him move out right now. There's no observer, no scouting.
Except for these 3 hallucinated phoenixes that just walked by and saw almost everything.
At least the army not in the base at all.
Yeah, and meanwhile 8-bit is blocking this orbital command. That's got to be a little bit frustrating for Command Man. Command Man is moving through the bottom of the map. It's going to go around, it seems, all the way. Yeah, it seems like he's going to try to go around this. And meanwhile, 8-bit sending some more zealots just scouting frantically for that base.
Stim finishing at the 22-minute mark.
Hey man, if you don't need it, don't get it. Unnecessary upgrade. Well, you're only wasting a Banshee's worth of resources on that.
Yeah. So it looks like Command Man is going to pressure this third or be in a really good position, or fourth to be able to do so. He probably didn't know about it, but Siege comes up, the stim is on, and there is no army here to stop it. He's going to be able to go right in and destroy that Nexus.
He's going to be able to snipe it. But meanwhile, we do have about 6 zealots down by 8-bit, so I think he's going to move those into his opponent's third whenever he has the chance. But now there's a planetary over there. Oh man, Command Man!
Yes!
The elevator tactic.
Yes!
Very well done. And this Colossus is going to come out and face a little bit of unhappy time. Maybe 2 Void Rays out for 8-bit, and now here comes the whole army kind of choking himself on his units. Meanwhile, the Archon's on the back trying to get these tanks.
But I do like how in the main base, like, Zealots can't get in front, can't shelter, can't be the meat shield for these Immortals, and they're just choked up at the moment. So getting just really good surface area. Command Man is showing dominant play at the moment.
Meanwhile, these Archons almost out of range of this tank. This tank can't be hit just because there's no vision. And these Immortals kind of killing the rest of this army, and these drops might fly over these Archons. Mill a Void Ray out now, which could help him deal with the Banshees.
And there were Marines taken into the natural expansion during that time too. Do we have any dead probes? I mean, oh god, 34 probes destroyed this game by Command Man. Most of those, I mean, may have been done a little bit earlier, but these Banshees are still uncontested in the main base of 8-bit.
Yeah, we did see, I think there was a DT being sent over at Command Man's third, because something just died over there. And 8-bit, he looked like a little bit in the dominant position. I don't think he moved his mothership core at all during that, did he? Could have recalled them and cast a Nexus Cannon. Now he's getting a Phoenix to deal with these Banshees. He's gotta be sick of them, man. They have what, like 20 kills in 7?
That's so much. Such a really great investment.
Yeah, definitely they've been paying off. 8-bit finally getting his 4th up, which is going to be his 3rd active base. Rebuilding his Twilight Council. At least he can still make Colossus, so he's not completely behind on tech. 8-bit is going to come down with some zealots over at the 3rd, sees the army, and he's going to decide to probably run away.
And oh my gosh, that Oracle just bit the dust. I mean, 8-bit's not doing too well right now, and you know, it's starting to be apparent that not using Storm, not having the ability to use Storm right now against this mass bio is going to really, really hurt him. I mean,
yeah, definitely. He could warp in like 9 Templars easily, maybe even 10, and have like enough Storm switches blanket everything, but he can't. He quote unquote legally can't. He could just make them all into Archons.
And he's down on minerals right now pretty bad. How's his natural looking? Natural's nearly mined out. Main is mined out. 3rd is still going strong.
Yeah, it's got about 1,000 on each.
Need to get that 4th up, which it's about to get up, and then he'll be able to get all those minerals to use that 1,600, 1,700 gas.
And here comes Command Man over at the bottom of the map again. Gonna push up into this 4th. Probably siege up again. Think he'll do the same thing? Kill the 4th and then load up into the main?
Yeah, why?
That's just that choke.
Why not? He doesn't have to worry about feedbacks. He doesn't have to worry about Storm. I mean, just feedbacks and that. Look how many dropships he has. That's a lot of dropships for. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, as a Terran player, do you feel that that's too many drop ships if you even had to deal with High Templar.
Uh, yeah, I would do. So normally, what you can do before you go drop, you stim everything so your dropships lose enough energy so that they have less than 120 energy, and then you load up because the feedback won't kill it with 120 energy.
Come on, man, dropping at the third location with a tank and a few other with marauders and such, and cleaning that up quite quickly while the main army is taking out the fourth base.
Yeah, once again, taking out the fourth base, that third location drop was a distraction just to force Colossus over there. Now, Void Ray's time to defend this, but it would help a lot having that Nexus cannon. Here comes the Colossus, though, trying to do something useful right now. Archon's going down, one of them is about to go down. But I think he has enough to hold just once more.
Enough to hold, but will he? I mean, he used, what did he use all his gas into? Oh, I mean, a Colossus and 2 Void Rays. But he doesn't necessarily have a lot.
There goes the Nexus cannon. It's gonna kill the rest of his army, but come on, man, does have a lot of minerals. He's mined out on his main and almost on his natural. He's getting a fourth at the bottom main base. So 8-bit is probably not going to end up scouting that. There are Marines scattered over here. Loading up into his medevacs, they're going to almost run away unscathed.
And, gonna go over this Archon, gonna lose the empty. No! Gonna get out of there with his medevacs.
So
Or
what
maybe
would
not.
happen if 8-bit accidentally feedbacks? Would he be like forfeit?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it would definitely be forfeit.
So even if he like won with Storm?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We do. I mean, it's great to have this many medevacs in general with Bio, because then it's like they never die.
Yeah, we would have one medevac for each of your Marauders. It reminds me of like the Brood War wall, where you would have 4 medics, and then you have Firebats, and then Marines, right? So then the medics are always healing the Firebats, and nothing gets past you. But here come the probe pools.
Yeah, it's looking grim for 8-bit right now. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have that much going on, and we have the GGWP and Texas Instruments taking this game number 3 and actually taking the series right now.
Yeah, man. Going back on that final, I thought it was going to be closer than that.
Yeah,
Definitely that not having High Templars pretty much devastated him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be it's one thing to be good with the rules, but I would have liked to seen that with him taking the option of doing storms, making it a little bit more even. But when you're doing matches like this and the seriousness of the After Hours Gaming League, we have to hold certain practices and standards.
Yeah, definitely.
But we will be back with this final game number 4 for lulz. See if National Instruments can take them just a straight 4-0, or if Microsoft can come back and